I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
You're perfectly right, my child. This passage must have been cleared by the expedition. We should follow it.
Was bring you to the place suggested by the tablets. I had no way of knowing.
Really? But I did warn you. You just wanted to have it your way. Someone so foolish and thoughtless should not be supervising an expedition.
How dare you?
It looks like we're right on time. If we do not intervene, they are sure to gut each other.
How can you call yourself a man of faith when you... Turn your founder.
Me? At least I don't allow myself to believe any heresy to feed my own pride.
No! You'd rather be more stubborn and obtuse than a mule.
You will regret your words.
It looks like we're right on time. If we do not intervene, they are sure to gut each other.
How can you call yourself a man? When you turn your back to the word of our founder.
Me? At least I don't allow myself to believe any heresy to feed my own pride.
No, you'd rather be more stubborn and obtuse than a mule.
Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrive right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of the swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach Eden. He's the one who told us where your camp was.
But he didn't leave alone. What happened to Father Orbricus, who was accompanying him?
He might have other companions. This is all your fault. This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and tell me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken concern for common sense. We are not equipped for this. Are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he's so disingenuous. We have made discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
enlightened protect me in this battle!
Dara grimeterem tam!
Protect me in this battle!
Dara grimeterem tam!
May the shadow engulf our enemies! May the enlightened protect me in this battle!
Dara grimeterem tam!
May your shadow engulf our enemies! May the enlightened protect me in this battle!
Your Excellency, I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before anything else, I need to know what led to this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you quarreling?
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was always against it, especially under my supervision. For him, our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. According to him, we should never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The handwriting is the same. There are also some patterns, some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to decipher. Our founder explains that he learned a lot from the islanders. Something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbricus to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing. And I'm not even talking about the ones who fell ill. I must admit that I underestimated the hardships we would encounter. I made a mistake. I should have prepared this expedition more thoroughly. But Virgil's being disingenuous does not help.
And no one has searched for those who are missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but someone later convinced me that it presented too much of a risk. Along with lack of preparation, our constantly decreasing number, and creatures swarming the area.
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother Virgil.
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information, but you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother Virgil.
Of course, that's understandable. You must hear us both before you can make a decision.
Brother Virgil,
What do you want?
can you explain to me what caused such a quarrel?
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the research. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered on these tablets without doubting them for even 1 second.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, allegedly written by Saint Matthias, but their content is so absurd that they were obviously forged. I am certain natives must have found these stones before us and modified their content.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing. Do you know anything about this?
They did not go missing. They were killed. There was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here.
There aren't any. There are a few hermits, but they are not fighters. And they have better things to do than roam around their camp at night.
We have been in this region before, and the only native we met was a little insane but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well. I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And, in any case, it is not what matters the most. Even if you think they are dead, we have to try finding your colleagues.
Well, if you are prepared to take such a risk, I can only commend you for your bravery and wish you luck. But I would not get my hopes up. You should start by searching the excavation site. To get there, take the path south of here. But be careful. The creatures that roam the area are ruthless.
The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he had died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound. But alas, it's impossible to know who was wielding it. This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animals. Even so, this wound looks different from the others. It looks like a knife wound.
You're right. He was stabbed before being fed to the animals. But anyone could have used such a blade.
The cause of death is no mystery. This man was attacked by one of those large reptiles, a Llewellyn. And yet, these iridescent marks on his skin make me think that a stasis spell was cast on him first. He was intentionally immobilized so that he would fall prey to this animal. These fang marks are impressive. The poor man didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile, most likely a Llewellyn. But what was he doing alone so far from camp? The cause of death is no mystery. This man was attacked by one of those large reptiles, a Llewellyn. And yet, these iridescent marks on his skin make me think that a stasis spell was cast on him first. He was intentionally immobilized so that he would fall prey to this animal. This man's death was no accident, nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace. And it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved, most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death. It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
The deaths of these people were a deception. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to do such a thing. They kill each other and accuse my people. This virgin, he wants to push aside this woman at all cost. He must be the culprit.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation. Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency! Weren't you supposed to be looking for our colleagues?
Indeed. I regret to say that they are indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste. Eugenia and her recklessness are to blame for this.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for this. These deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages! Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
Watch your tongue, priest. Our people have no need to hide when they protect their land. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to disguise a death.
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail. Does that remind you of anyone?
Fine. You unmasked me. But know that my cause is righteous. The Ordo Luminis sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island. But the inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy, a dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the natives? But even then, foolish Eugenia accepted these discoveries as truth, without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes, I wanted to scare her.
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far as assassinating several of your colleagues?
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the congregation? You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want to avoid using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
This Renaigse tried to blame my people for these crimes. The priests would have wanted to punish them, and innocent people would have died. He must answer for his treachery.
It is undeniable that these discoveries could cause a great upsetting, but he has no right to decide what should be revealed or not. On this island, Cornelia should be the one to decide. Be careful with your accusations, though. Eugenia and her colleagues are on edge. We wouldn't want them to start killing each other.
Sorry, Brother Virgil, but I cannot accept. You will take your belongings and leave this place. The research will continue, and their discoveries will be studied by wiser people than you. The decision to reveal them or not will be theirs.
I see. My colleagues and I will go back to Eden. I hope that you don't regret your decision.
Alas, I have found the dead bodies of your colleagues.
How horrible. But how? Oh, perhaps I should have listened to Brother Virgil.
I doubt it. Brother Virgil is responsible for these deaths. He was hoping to blame the natives for them and discredit you.
What? But why would he? He will have to answer for his crimes.
As I do not have the authority to arrest him, I sent him back to Eden. If you want him to face judgment, you will have to report what happened to the Mother Cardinal.
You are right. As soon as we get back to civilization, I will make sure that she hears about it. Once more, your help has been a blessing. Take this. Alas, we will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the research.
Were you hoping to discover more?
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp. But even if Virgil is no longer a threat, we are not sufficiently well equipped to go there.
We could go there for you if you wish. You just have to tell us where to look.
That would be marvelous. Of course, you would have to start from the excavation site where he wrote this. I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings. That would be fantastic.
Don't worry. I will conduct this research and come find you here if I uncover anything.
I've never been that far into the swamp, but if I was to live here, I would look for a drier place.
May the enlightened help.
The enlightened broke. Catch me in this battle!
armor is broken, say that!
A cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world. This is incredible. People live here. And among us, we have to rummage through it. May the enlightened protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies! Protect me in this battle! Murals are magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias. Praying to Enon Miel Frictimen. I don't know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors.
I cannot believe it. These symbols, they are signs used in the secret writing of the Donegada.
Engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. There are some native symbols here, and some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men duis dad, enon mil frictimen.
It means, welcome us amongst your people, enon mil frictimen.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him. Looks like a chaplet made of pewter. It's rather basic, but it was made a long time ago, and it undeniably comes from the continent.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias is often depicted or described as using a similar chaplet. Oh, I feel so lucky to be here. In this cavern where our founder lived. I don't know if you realize the importance of what we've just discovered. Saint Matthias, the founder of Thélème, finished his life worshipping the islanders' god. This is so incredible. Although it will cause a huge upset for our nation, our cult, and our relations with the natives.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Thélème.
I understand you must be concerned. Great revelations are often followed by a trail of blood. But if what we found was revealed, my people could live in peace with the priests at last.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp.
So, did you find anything? Or do you need my help?
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives, who had obviously created a sacred site, as the place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder? New relics? Perhaps some tablets?
There were also frescoes on the site, representing Saint Matthias.
Frescoes? Tell me more. This is fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On the other, he prayed to a god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the islanders?
That is what emerges from our findings, yes. Other objects that I was able to bring back also point in this direction. Look. There are inscriptions. These tablets and also this chaplet.
His chaplet. I cannot believe it. It is so... Excuse me. I cannot find the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and present all these discoveries to the Mother Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to change. So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your support, we will convince her to reveal the truth.
I see. I will do my best to help you.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil.
Virgil. How did you know?
I'm afraid that Your Excellency's lies weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately, so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest the destruction of relics written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders, you leave us no choice.
Death to the heretics!
Your magic is running out.
Favor.
Engulf our enemies.
I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to hasten to San Mateus. They will not dare to attack you there. And we will have to take care of Bishop Domitius. He will do everything he can to discredit us.
You are right. All this proves is that I will not succeed without your help. There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
And if you will allow me to attend the hearing, I would be delighted to support you.
Your help will be precious to us, Father. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as soon as possible. I will study the tablets one last time to make sure I know all their content. And I will meet you at the palace in San Mateus to plead our case.
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia. Be careful. Your Eminence, I salute you.
Sir de Sardet, what can I do for you?
You seem to know Father Petrus well. What can you tell me about him?
Do I frighten you so much that you do not dare question me directly, my child?
Come on, Petrus. Our young legate probably wants an outside opinion on the person accompanying him. In response to your questions, Your Excellency, Petrus belongs to the Order of the Missionaries. He spent many years in different countries bringing the light. He is a shrewd diplomat and a devious politician, but I am sure you will appreciate his services.
I must leave you.
Naturally, Your Excellency. Ah, Your Excellency. We were eagerly awaiting your arrival. Sister Eugenia was just recounting me the tale of your achievements and telling me about the incredible discoveries you've made.
These relics shed a new light on the last years of our founder. It all demonstrates that he hadn't evangelized the islanders, but, on the contrary, he would even have adopted some of their rituals, merging the cult of the enlightened and the cult of nature in a single dogma.
These discoveries, if they can be verified, are extraordinary. But they also represent a great upheaval that could harm our nation. we must first verify their authenticity. You are the only ones who entered this cave. Could what you have witnessed been a falsification?
The entrance to the cave was protected by one of those giant creatures that the natives call a Nardaig. These guardians usually protect sacred places and let no one enter without a fight. I had to kill this beast, which leads me to think that nobody had entered the cave for a very long time. The cavern we discovered is located in a very remote place. There is no island or village nearby. It contains some ruined dwellings, but clearly no one has lived there for a very long time. Fraudsters would inevitably have left traces of their passage, and we have not found any. We discovered ancient frescoes on the walls of the cave. They represent Saint Matthias without a doubt. He is depicted with his chaplet. In one, he is praying for the divinity of the island. In the other, his face was being painted by a native. I understand how shocking these discoveries are, but their antiquity proves that they are genuine.
The tablets found at the site, however, attest that our founder had not abandoned the cult of the Enlightened. He simply saw it as two different reflections of the same divine power.
The relics could be authentic, Your Excellency, but we only have your word to convince us. The political and religious impact of these discoveries will be unprecedented. We risk schism, civil war, and who is to say that this is not a plan to weaken us?
I understand your doubts, Your Eminence, but you yourself asked me to conduct the investigation. It seems to me that the best way to address this matter would be for you to go to the place yourself. Then you will see that what I've described to you is true.
I suppose you would not suggest such a thing if you had lied to me. But you are right. I need to see for myself what secrets this place hides.
Your Eminence, all of this is grotesque and dangerous. The congregation is clearly trying to ridicule us. Even if these frescoes are real and old, who's to say they represent reality? This is surely the naive vision that the islanders had of our founder, nothing more. Our duty is to bury all this in order to preserve our nation from the heretical beliefs of the savages.
You were so eager to bury our discoveries that you were ready to bury us with them. A group of the Ordo Luminous attacked us while we prepared to come here.
Really? Your Eminence, I assure you that I had no idea. We would never harm a diplomat. It was probably the desperate action of an overly fervent group. But, alas, it is a fair reflection of what will happen if these discoveries are made public.
You are responsible for the members of the Ordo Luminous on this island, Domitius. I am counting on you to ensure that this kind of act never happens again.
Your Eminence, we are faced with a crucial choice for our nation. What does a man of faith do in such a dilemma? He prays and places his trust in the one who came before him and has shown more wisdom. Saint Matthias shows us a new way. If we are believers, can we really turn our backs on him?
You surprise me, Petrus. You who are always so political. Yet your words seem sincere. You give me something to think about. Thank you.
If my people knew that the great sage they had long respected is the same man as your saint, and that your priests respected our culture as he did, they would be welcomed here as brothers.
And the Eden we wanted to build would be everywhere. You speak sense, Princess. Does anyone wish to add anything?
I understand your doubts about the future that will inevitably be caused by such a revelation. You hesitate just as St. Lucius did to tell us about the journey of his master. Yet he revealed what he knew, and his words still guide Thélème today.
Thank you for your testimony. I will now retire to think about everything and make my decision. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is my duty to reveal your discoveries to the world. It will take years for our theologians to study all of this, but our dogma must follow the path opened by Saint Matthias.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I would be delighted to help with the study of these relics.
I don't doubt it, my dear. And I would like you to take me to see this cave. I look forward to worshipping at the place where our holy founder ended his days. As for you, Your Excellency, I thank you for the help you have given us. Your sincere insight has encouraged me to make this difficult decision.
It was my pleasure.
Let me also thank you, Your Excellency. Without you, we would still be in the shadows.
To Sarday.
I need to be... The valley is vast. We should get to a vantage point if we want to find this expedition.
Protect me in this battle! Magic is running out! Take a potion! May the enlightened protect me in this battle! May the enlightened protect me in this battle! Protect me in this battle! Protect me in this battle!
Over there. Tents. This must be the expedition's camp.
This is a rather conspicuous place to set up camp.
Signs of combat. They were attacked. By the look of the tents in the campfire, it dates back several days. It seems they were taken prisoner. I don't see any bodies. No weapon leaves this sort of marking. Perhaps they were wielding magic.
Yes, It is the art of the Donegada. One of the Valley clans was here.
Would you know which one?
One against the invasion of the peoples from your island. I can be sure of nothing more.
Why would they attack scholars? They're not warriors.
They come here as conquerors. This is enough. But they were not killed. Warriors would have been.
This looks like scientific equipment. This must be the Lost Expedition's campsite. This looks like the journal of a naturalist. There are sketches of flora and fauna. There is no doubt. We are definitely on the trail of the Lost Expedition. It seems that one of the team kept a distance from the others. Let's see what we can discover. A trail of blood. That cannot be good. Follow it.
Protect me in this battle!
More blood. We're on the right path. Keep going. A corpse. The clothes cannot be mistaken. It is a scholar of the Bridge Alliance. From the looks of him, I would say he's been dead for days, as we already This isn't the woman whose journal we found. There is still a chance that she remains alive.
This man traded his life for all the suffering of my people.
It was only a scholar, a sage, not a warrior on the battlefield.
Do you think my people see a difference when bridgemen steal our people from their beds? From who do you think all the clans hide dead children?
I lean towards Siora's point of view. The practices of these scholars, so-called seekers of knowledge, are barbaric. Taleme would offer you protection and support.
In exchange for our souls. I think we would prefer to go to war.
I'll search the body. We might find something to help us understand. Here is the isolated camp mentioned in the journal. Everything is in order, but the inhabitants are no longer there. Its position would have allowed them to escape the attack.
The view over the valley is magnificent, and makes it difficult for me to approach without being seen.
It is a journal. That of a woman from the expedition, a certain Afra. She speaks of their research and relates here that she felt watched. She feared an attack was brewing. I believe she was right. The writing stops mid-sentence.
These people of the bridge have either just hatched from eggs or are complete idiots. My people are at war. They do not spare an enemy under pretext that they are not wearing the clothing of soldiers.
We must follow the tracks of the attack. They will certainly lead us to our party of intrepid scientists.
This woman was right to fear the Donea Exregao. They must have followed this path coming from the swamp. This is where we should go if we want to find these lion scholars.
Look, those are islanders. They might be from the clan that attacked the Bridger camp.
That's possible. They look like trackers. But what are they tracking?
New prey, no doubt. Let's get closer.
Renaigse!
We won't let you take us. We will not kneel down without a fight.
Wait! We have no desire to fight you. We only want to find the Lion Sages. They are not warriors, but their chief is ready to send an army of warriors to liberate them. If you help us bring them back, you will save your tribe from a costly battle in lives.
He speaks truly. Look, one of them is already eager to bring lion warriors back to us.
All we wanted was for them to tell us where our brothers are being kept.
What good is this if we must leave our camp behind? Very well. Stay away from the main entrance. Our guards will not welcome your arrival.
Pass around. There is a smaller entrance hidden there. The lions are kept in a home in ruins.
There must be a key somewhere to open the door, but I know it is kept.
I'm not here to kill you.
Tell me then, what is your intended purpose?
We were sent to look for you.
Apologies, but allow me to express my doubts.
Well, after this little swim, you could always try to pull the trigger.
Who sent you to find me?
Well, we were not looking for you in particular, but the entire expedition. It was Governor Burham who asked us to find you. He's worried about you. You haven't been reporting.
You should have said that straight away. I must admit, I was hoping for a rescue. Of a different nature. Do you have a name?
Desade. I'm from the congregation.
The new governor's cousin. Who wears an islander face. I've heard stories about you. And them?
I am Siora, daughter of Bladnid. From the people that your own capture and torture.
I've never taken anyone. On the contrary, we had hoped to exchange our knowledge with your own.
Bishop Petrus, if our young friend hadn't insisted on coming here, I would have gladly let you rot in this marsh.
Behold the charity of the enlightened, huh? This is a rather odd group. I am Afra, a scholar from the Bridge Alliance. It is rather rare to find me rolling in the marshes. I study the fauna and flora of this isle. I should imagine you have many questions.
We saw the site where you were attacked. What exactly happened?
We were taken by surprise. One moment everything was calm, and the next a war party of natives fell upon us. I had an uneasy feeling and kept myself apart. But when I heard my fellow scholars' shouts, I rushed over. Most of my companions are incapable of defending themselves, and we didn't have guards to protect us. One of them tried to flee, but they brought him down. We decided to give ourselves up to avoid a massacre.
What has happened since the attack? How long have you been in these marshes?
We were taken prisoner and were brought to a village nearby. I was able to escape while the others were taken to a house that they use as a prison. I wanted to join the Bridge Alliance frontier post not far from here, but I wasn't able. So I doubled back to keep watch of the village from a distance. I have been hoping to find a way to free my companions, without any success so far.
Have you made progress in your search for a cure?
We were studying some quite remarkable plants when we were attacked. The region is rife in unknown and novel species. Some seem incredibly promising. The local shamans know all these plants and they use them in their remedies.
If only we had been able to converse with them rather than getting ourselves captured.
Could you lead us to the village where your colleagues are being held prisoner?
Certainly. We are, oh, so very close. And I fully intend to participate in this rescue. I'm not one to sit around and twiddle thumbs.
This is where the natives took your colleagues.
Yes, it is here. These ruins are being used as a camp by the native raiders.
There are so many of them. Better to remain discreet.
I have spied on the camp and discovered where my colleagues are being held. They are being kept in the old walls of the main ruin. I would rather avoid unwarranted deaths. We should wait until nightfall and look around the camp to find a more discreet way to get inside. I fled as they were about to lock my companions inside a cell. We're going to need a key.
Please, Honor Manawi, let's try to avoid a fight.
don't have the key.
Afra, is that you?
Come quickly. We don't have much time. Thank you for your help.
Do not thank me yet. We are still in a shipload of danger.
Now, we must find a way to get out of this valley without putting my companions in danger.
Protect me!
protect me in this battle. Trokarid, mercy, you have defeated us. Spare us our lives.
If you spare them, they will only hunt us down until we are all dead.
No, you have our word. We have been bested. We will let you move on in peace.
How can we trust you? You attacked our camp when we were not even armed.
They are savages. They had us caged like beasts.
We only sought to learn where you have caged our people.
Spare their lives. I beg you. They were only fighting to save the lives of those that have disappeared.
Very well. Leave. And I hope you keep your word.
Thank you, Onol Manawi. I have spoken, and I will honor my words, Kwa awalam seg.
We are no longer in danger. Thank you for your help, Desade.
I must admit, the reasons for my being here are not entirely selfless. Your research to find a remedy against the Malachor could save many lives in our cities as well.
You speak like a true man of science. Cut to the point. Then you'll be thrilled. Your heroic efforts to save us from those savages could help. We've made a discovery.
Is that right? In that case, we need to speak with Governor Burham immediately.
Very well. I'll accompany you.
Let's be off.
Sir Desade, and our expedition. I thank you sincerely for having brought them back, Excellence. You are a providential man.
Please, sir. It was you who convinced me and my cousin of the capital importance of their research.
Research that has borne fruit, Your Excellency.
Truly? This is excellent news. You have found a plant with sufficient properties?
Not exactly. Know that during our captivity, an island woman visited the camp. The natives called her Tiena Hack Kadactus and treated her with utmost reverence. I heard them talk about a remedy, a universal remedy it seemed, that she had concocted.
How's that? Leamat radidnais yachtem?
Well, I grasp the basic of the local tongue, and I am certain to have heard the word yag. Remedy.
Surprising. But the Terna Hach is very powerful and very wise. It is possible that she did craft such a remedy.